In previous episodes, I've spent several days in Reno, Nevada, hanging out with my buddy Dave and his lovely wife and riding around Reno before getting up and riding out, trying to make the whole state on a road called Highway 50, the loneliest road. And I did start out early in the morning. I wanted to get through a lot of the heat before the sun came up, but yeah, it started getting hot pretty quickly. But as I rolled east down the interstate, I was looking forward to getting on this so-called loneliest road. It's pretty well known as the loneliest road, and I'm not really sure why. It's probably just because there's not a lot of people out here. But I rolled past this little intersection here and I thought, man, I got to go back and get some gas. I don't know where the next gas station is because it's pretty lonely out here. So before I stopped, I decided to get some breakfast in this cool little bar slash restaurant slash hotel in the middle of nowhere. It's called Middlegate Station. And yeah, it was a great stop to get out of the early morning heat, and not just that, get some fuel, get some coffee in me, and get some fuel in my stomach. And yeah, it's just a really interesting place, really interesting stop, very eclectic, very unusual, and there were lots of surprises inside the station too, as I would soon find out. But the best I could tell, this was a family-run outfit, bar, restaurant, hotel, and other services. But it was a fateful meeting that I would have in here that would turn the day's events. Another biker showed up to have breakfast. After several cups of coffee and a nice heavy breakfast, I mounted my overly laden steed and got on the road back onto Highway 50. What I did not know is that the environment was about to change radically, as I had gotten a hot tip about a secret road, 722, that I just turned onto, that was much nicer than the road that I was on, but I did not know that at the time. It was shortly after I made the turn onto this bypass that I realized this road was much lonelier than the loneliest road. It wasn't until I saw the second and third cow on the road that I realized that this road is so lonely that there are more cows on it than there are vehicles. And on the rest of this journey down this bypass, I challenge you to count the cows and count the cars and see which one comes up higher. So I decided to take the loneliest road, Highway 50, US 50, across Nevada, or Nevada. And I just wasn't feeling it. There was too many people, there was too many cars, even motorcycles, they're all over the place. And I was really disappointed. I really wanted to be lonely today, and it just wasn't feeling it. So I was looking for a lonelier road, and I found it. Nevada 722. The other loneliest, probably much more lonely than US 50. Check it out. There's nobody out here but me and a bunch of cattle. Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. It's starting to get hot, but it is Nevada, and it's the Labor Day weekend, so onward. You know, when I travel, I try to immerse my audience in what I'm seeing and feeling, but it's so hard sometimes, and this place especially. It's just really so hard to replicate the feeling that I get when I'm riding through environments like this. And the only thing I can do at some point is just stop and try to soak it in and film what looks like three-dimensional, but it's just a 2D representation of my experience. Yep, I think I got 50 beat here. This is a desolate stretch. There's nothing else out here. And yeah, I'm glad I took this route. Got a tip from the guy I was eating breakfast with, guy on a big GS. Brand new GS. He has 200 miles on it. He just picked it up. And we were eating breakfast, and I was like, hey, anything in between here and Ely that's a really cool stop? And he recommended taking the lower route, which is 722. And you can see, I mean, that road just kind of disappears there. It's like, is it going through the mountain? And there's a dry lake here. This is really cool. And of course, there's nobody out here but me. There may be a rabbit. I don't see any more cattle. The cows don't even come out this far. Yeah, how about this for crazy landscape? There is definitely something magical about this place and other deserts that I've experienced. The hard thing is to slow down long enough to gather it all in and soak it up and find the beauty in this barren wasteland, or at least the way other people see it, without slowing down to enjoy it. And realize that this place has changed dramatically over millions of years. This is probably at least once underwater, under an ocean, as the remnants of the salt flat over here on the left indicate. But most of this area was under the ocean at one point or another. But before and after that, probably jungle, probably dinosaurs all over the place out here. You just don't know. And obviously, as I'm riding across what's left over, the mud and remnants of soil washed over the road, it makes you wonder how much water comes down out here. Is it a frequent event or a non-frequent event? But it's obviously enough to wash away the earth and cover the road. I've seen some sections in the Mojave that there's so much water that it washes the road out. The non-existent creeks, 99% of the year, become raging rivers, just long enough to wash out pavement. It's just unbelievable when you think about it. Well, I am back on US 50, the loneliest road, except I truly believe that 722 that connects and goes out, makes a big loop out to Austin, is lonelier, and it's beautiful. So yeah, I prefer to call that the loneliest road. But I'm taking a break, and the only rest stop that I have seen, and buddy, I needed a rest. I need to just get out of the damn sun. But yeah, this is a very, very lonely road. There's more vehicles on this than 722, but maybe it's still the loneliest road. I don't know. It's beautiful. The desert really takes, it's an acquired taste, and you know, even sometimes I get burnt out on it. So the last time through Nevada, I was sick of it. I was so glad to get into Oregon, and Oregon didn't change much when I first got in it because it was desert, didn't change. But once I got out of the desert, once I got into the mountains, I said, man, I don't ever want to see sage again. And that's everything, pretty much everything you see out here is sage. But yeah, I mean, as long as it's not, 12, 15 hours of desert riding and there's nothing else, not even a rest stop. Yeah, it's good to be at a little rest stop. There's nothing here except overflowing trash cans and some shelter. But the shelter's pretty good, and I'm going to drink the rest of my water here before I keep going. I think I got about another 100 miles to the next town, which is Ely. That's where I'm headed. And I think there's going to be some trees up above Ely in the mountains, like the hills up here. I think there's going to be trees, so that means I can hang and I don't have to stealth camp in the park. It's a nice day. It's very breezy. There's barely clouds in the sky, so you know the sun's kind of getting to me, but I'm not really overheating. I'm not hot. I'm just getting a little dehydrated. So take care of that here with the only other person out here. Oh, good. That makes me feel less lonely. So many times I've ridden through parts of the world like this. I've learned that you really have to plan ahead and you have to be thoughtful before making big mistakes, driving or riding across big stretches of earth without resources. And one of the most important resources is water. And as you can see, there's not a lot of water out here. It comes and it quickly goes. And when you see sections of the earth that have water and then vast sections like this that don't, it's a bit scary. The other scary thing is as you're riding along and you just keep riding and you see the horizon doesn't change much, like those mountains in the distance there. It seems like you're getting closer, but you just keep riding and the mountains don't seem to be growing or getting any closer, and it's a bit intimidating the more you do it, the longer you ride. And this is all sped up, so you should actually be seeing some change in the horizon, but you don't. And I'm actually rolling into the town of Ely here, and I see this sign that I have to circle back to and get a shot. Yeah, just a little proof that I'm on the loneliest road in America. I came in this little pit, grabbed a handful of brake, and didn't realize there was nothing but deep sand here. And grabbed the bike, tried to keep it from going over. Sprained my wrist. So now I'm not only lonely, but I'm injured. I think it's time for a beer. Yeah, it's so hot out here. Unbelievable. And it's not just the lack of resources you have to concern yourself with. It's the distance between the resources. And walking out of a desert like I'm riding through here is even more intimidating than the distances. But you combine that with the heat and lack of water and other resources, and it's always a bit of magic when you roll into a town like Ely. And although I could tell that Ely seemed to be a really nice town, further, its lack of resources like simple water, public water fountains, all their water resources were turned off, and it was a real disappointment. And I decided to, after just a few minutes here, I decided to keep rolling on out of Ely. And it was only later that I discovered that Ely is a pretty cool town and very interesting and worth a visit. I'm just laying here trying to relax and cool off, get out of the sun for a little bit. I was hoping to find some place. Well, I don't know what I was thinking, but now that I can't find water, I'm wondering if I'm going to stay anywhere near Ely, Nevada. This is what it looks like when you're laying in the grass in front of the public library in Ely, Nevada. And interesting enough, I am across the street from the city park, and they've got water fountains that are turned off, and the sink is turned off. So I think that's kind of interesting. They must not like people drinking their water. Otherwise, it's a cute town. At this point, as I was rolling out of town, I had no intention of ever revisiting Ely again, because I was pretty doggone upset that there was nothing there's no way to fill water up without having to spend $5 or $6 at a store. And it wasn't until I saw that sign back there that I started considering, okay, well, maybe there's there's hills close by and there's trees. Maybe there's some pinions or something that I can hang in between in that park back there. And I also realized that I still had Jamie's um, park pass, his state park pass that he had given me. So I thought, hey, state park, I could probably get in here and camp for free. Even though I despise campgrounds, sometimes they're pretty magical. And as it turns out, this place was pretty cool. It's called Cave Lake State Park. The lake part was is an exaggeration because they had actually drained the lake, but it still turned out to be a pretty cool camping spot and lots of other activities going on. But I'm going to save all that for next time.
You ready?
Yep.
Yes, sir. Okay, fire in the hole.
Oh, it's a dud.